Okay, so today we're going to try to do a Power BI dashboard, kind of for beginners to a certain extent. The idea that here was to kind of create a couple of videos to be able to help people out that maybe haven't used Power BI for a while, or who may have used Tableau or another dashboard for analytics, just to kind of give a rough overview of how to actually do some of these visualizations. So the data that I'm actually using here is going to be some COVID-19 data that was pulled a couple weeks back. So we're not going to really be looking at the date too much. This is from February 2nd through March 5th. So, but that's really not that important. We're mostly just looking at how to do the visualizations, and I figured I'd pull some information that's a little more pertinent to our current situation in the world. So I'm going to start out here with just doing a basic clustered bar chart, and okay, there we go. Okay, so we are doing pretty much. Okay, so this covers the entire world, basically, as of right now. Like I said, the data is about 3 weeks old, so it's not the most accurate, but it gives a good representation. You can see the different countries, and you can also see with this one, we have confirm versus death, that's the legend. So you can, once we get into further visualizations here, you can actually click on these individually and it'll change stuff, which you will see. It's kind of interesting to be able to do this. It's actually kind of cool. And it's one of the reasons why these visualizations actually work so well in having a dashboard. So from there, we're going to do, it's probably not the best thing to do for this. Actually, that's not what I meant to do. We're going to start a new one. And that's the one thing I was going to mention with Power BI. If you're active in a cell, in a visualization, and you don't click outside of it, you're just going to keep messing and manipulating with that. So even myself, I get caught every now and then when you're not thinking straight. So okay, so with a pie chart, this is going to probably not be the correct way to really do a pie chart, but it's one of those things that I kind of wanted to do this to be able to kind of see the differences between different areas, because you can click on individual areas like I was mentioning, and you'll actually see how many in the percentage as a whole. So it's kind of cool to be able to see it from that perspective. Okay, so before we move on to another visualization, I wanted to change something down here. For the cases in the Providence, I actually had the wrong thing on here before from what I originally wanted to show on here. So I changed it back. All I did was I put the case total, the number of cases here. I put this down here, so it actually includes everything from all over the world, since we had all over the world above it. Just to keep things consistent. The rest of the visualizations from here on out are going to be more for just the US. So from there, we're going to jump right into doing just the US. So we're doing a stack bar chart here, which this is the most simple bar chart that we actually have on this visualization. So it's just going to be very, very simple. This is okay, so these are just the counties. And then do pie chart. Very similar to what we just did in the last one, which actually you could even, reality is you could actually copy it and and bring it through. But I figure it's just as simple to do it this way. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into doing... Actually, there's two different gauges that I wanted to do. And then we'll do some slicers after we do these gauges, just to kind of limit down what we're actually looking at. So like this one, this is just going to be a really simple one. So it's just the number of cases. And then we're going to do another one that is going to be for the county. So, and then for slicers, what we need to do is so the slicer, what this does is it eliminates or gives you the option to be able to eliminate things. So like with this one, we're going to do one based on country. So like I said before, we were going to primarily just look at trying to do the US. So that's one slicer. So if you noticed when I clicked on that, and I'll take it away here for a second, notice how much the visualizations change. You know, the cases by county, you know, the only thing that's on here is basically the NA, which is this huge chart here. Basically that's anything that they didn't have specific data on, they just threw into one category. So, and you find that a lot of times. It's not clean data, basically. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to really do anything for the whole world, because there's a lot of parts of the world that the data is not really known. So at least with the US stuff, it's a little more known. So go back down here, click on the US, and everything will completely change. So you click on one thing here, and you notice how the count of county changes, the case number changes, and that's just for New York. You click on another one here, and everything changes accordingly. So like this is New Jersey, and it lists the different counties here, and then the count of the county, as well as the number of cases. So it's really cool that you can actually do it like that. You click outside the box, and it brings everything back to normal. So, and then one of the other slicers I wanted to do is for the states, because the data that's on here, for some reason, probably because it's just collected from all over the world, it's not just America, as you can see there. There's actually a lot of other This is just part of cleaning the data here, going through and making sure that you're just counting information coming from all 50 states. Another reason why I didn't want to go through and do a bunch of this stuff on other countries, because we don't know counties. I mean, never lived anywhere else but the US. I'm not going to pretend like I know all the little subcategories of, you know, what's around Paris, or what's around, you know, the UK. So this is at least doing something that I know relatively well. Okay, so now we've got all 50 states, and then I'm actually going to put this as a drop down so it doesn't get clicked on. So there we go. So, and that's another visualization. And this stuff can be moved a little bit around, and you can change the tabs, what each tab actually does. I'm not going to go into too much of that right now. But like I was showing before, you can click on these individual areas and it'll give you a portion of the area. It's kind of cool. This is what a visualization is designed to do. It's designed to give you more information in depth on particular numbers and whatnot. So, and then, okay, so we're going to start a new visualization here. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this page because it'll actually make it a little bit easier. I want to change a few things, kind of similar to what I had before. That way we can keep some of the stuff and then can change and get rid of some stuff. So with this one of the things I wanted to change was actually wanted to go to a funnel. And my reason for the funnel is not a normal reason for the funnel. I don't know why I've always actually kind of like doing it this way. So we got getting rid of that. So we're doing, you got case type for the group, and then we have cases for the actual values. So if you notice, this is confirmed or death. So the nice thing about this is you can click on one or the other and it will show you on the chart the difference. I did want to change one thing. I still want to do a slicer for that too, because having the slicer on here, it does help with yeah, that actually works too. So actually, I probably don't really need the slicer that way. Yeah, so that'll work. Okay, so then this visualization, I'm going to change this one. Actually, let me move this over to, move this over and make it a little smaller. Don't need that gauge too big right now. I think I'm going to move this. Okay, so I'm just going to end up going back down here, click back onto the US, and from there we're going to change this visual, the pie chart visual, to, I kind of want to do two different things, which I might have to move some stuff around here. Move this over here a little bit. Okay, so this one's going to change to, I wanted to actually use this guy. And then the next one is going to be this table chart. So with the table chart, the table is basically just going to be different values. So you can put a bunch of different stuff in here, and depending upon what you decide to actually include, it and the order actually will change the way it visualizes as well. But this is looking at the different counties. You can change to the highest cases. And have it go down from there. It gives you a total on the bottom, and you also have the case type. So like if you click on death down here on the funnel, it'll basically just show you in a visualization the amount of death that you actually have, as well as you have an amount of cases where you have. So some of these I don't know if the numbers are exactly 100% accurate. I'm actually starting to wonder if how accurate some of this data really is. But